Are you a composer and do you have so many libraries that you feel like you have lost control? You have so many articulations, so many instruments, so many sound libraries, you don't know anymore where things are. And every time you start a new project, it's always like a lot of time that you have to spend. If this is the case, watch this video. I'm gonna show to you how I work and I'm gonna go deep dive into my orchestral template and how it can help setting up and speeding up your workflow. So let's go. Hi there, I'm here for a new video. This time I'm gonna show to you my orchestral template and explain you a bit my workflow, how do I work. And the orchestral template I'm showing to you, it's actually a commercial product that you can also purchase, but I think that you might just look at this video and take it as an inspiration, or if you wish, go to the link and you can find the link to buy it. So let's start with it. This orchestral template is for people who use Cubase 13, Vienna Ensemble Pro, and on top of that I actually have created one single app that allows to manage everything. So as you can see here, the setup is like I have three screens, screen 1, screen 2, screen 3. This screen is a touch screen, so I can interact with it, and here is where my app, the Flow app is. And I must say that I'm moving out of this because the three screens give me a bit of headache, so I'm gonna very soon have just a bigger screen, 38 inches, and all will be into one, still keeping the touch screen here. And so the basic the basic components of those, so then let me show it to you, is that the orchestral template comes with such project. This is a Vienna Ensemble Pro project where you can see there are a lot of instances and there are about 70 libraries already integrated with it. Libraries from Spitfire audio, native instruments, orchestral tools. So this is new. I'm now working on the Metropolis Arc also. Yeah, really a lot of libraries into that one. The idea is that this template, it comes, everything is disabled, so there is no RAM usage. So actually here virtually you have at your fingertips 70 libraries ready to be used, but with zero RAM. This is the big value of Vienna Ensemble Pro comparing to work just with Cubase 13, where you will just have to put all your instances there, and then you will see when you load a big project it becomes very slow, it becomes a mess, and then it crashes and blah 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 blah. So with Vienna Ensemble Pro, a lot of those problems are fixed, and here you can see, so every instance has their own libraries. There is always a code for each library so that you can see what it is. But the good thing is that with the app that I will show to you, you don't care about Vienna Ensemble Pro anymore. Actually, you will never look again into it. Everything you do it through the app. So this is the value of it. Close to this Vienna Ensemble Pro project, you have the Cubase project. So as you can see here, the Cubase project, it's a big one. It has a lot of tracks. At this moment in time, there are almost 1,100 tracks. You have all the virtual rack here and rack instruments which are already set up, which are already integrated and connected via Vienna Ensemble Pro. In my case, I have just one PC, but for people who have multiple PC, they just have to install the Vienna where they want, and they have to redirect those to the multiple PC. So a distributed version of it, it's super simple to do. Then for each of those, for each track, those tracks they have already. Okay, let me take one maybe with also expression maps. So each of these tracks, they are already routed to the right instance here with Vienna. As you can see from Vienna, you already have all the necessary outputs which are already routed inside Cubase. You have already expression maps which are defined. You have quick controls. You have MIDI sends which are used to communicate. So it's a lot of work. Everything is done just out of the box. You go and you compose. So this is the Cubase project. Then of course the mixer is also there. Everything is set up. So there are actually one of those for each of the instruments which are routed by Vienna Ensemble Pro outside. And then of course you have all of this goes into groups, like here they are. So you have orchestra tutti, woodwinds high, low, mix tutti, brass high, low, mix tutti. So they all go actually inside these groups, and then they all go again into the big groups where there are all the sections, and then there is a reverb that you can put on this, but again, then it will be up to you. If you have seen the behind the scene of the Ride of the Spring, you see that I've changed this a lot. So really, depending on your orchestration or on your composition that you have in mind, this might always change. So tons of work of MIDI tracks already created. As you can see, every time I click on something, there is always expression maps. There are always quick controls which are linked to the installation of the library inside Vienna Ensemble Pro. So this is already out of the box, and all of this works thanks to a couple of generic remotes which are there, and logical presets. So as I said, the promise is that you should never look at Vienna Ensemble Pro anymore, so you just focus on composition. How do you do this? You do this thanks to this app, which is called Flow Plus. It's an app which is built with open stage control. Actually, this app allows you to have a full control of what's going inside the library. So from here, you can control not only the libraries but also Cubase. So to do that, let me change the screen. So I'm now going to put the 3 different screens on the video there, so that we can see, and we can see how do I interact with them. So, okay, so here you are. You should now see the different screens. So you have me on the top, of course. Then you have the one with Vienna Ensemble Pro, and then below you have the touch screen, which I actually interact with. So first of all, let's say that everything starts from I need an instrument. So when you have thousands of instruments, when you have so many libraries, I'm sure that you went through this painful state of, oh, I don't know anymore where my library is, I don't know anymore where my instruments are, I don't know anymore how even to search for an articulation that I need. So this is something that Flow helps with. So let me start. So actually here you have 2 different tabs, one for the different folders of Cubase and one for the libraries. Let's go with the one for the libraries. Let's enable it. And then here, as you can see, you have a list of all the different libraries which are at this moment installed. So let's say that, for example, your workflow is that you know that Albion 5 is what you need, because you remember that this is where your sound is. Then you will just click on this button here, tuck. Yeah, wrong one. So this one here, and as you can see, in Cubase reacts, and it only shows the library for the tracks from Spitfire Albion 5. And now if I click on it, as you can see here on the touch screen, you have all the different articulations. You have the name of the track here, you have all my different articulations, and if I click on them, as you can see in Cubase, they change. Okay, so let's suppose now that I want to activate my track, the Spitfire Albion 5 brass low, and I want to play with it. Of course, now if I just type with my keyboard, there is no sounds, but now I can see that actually this is routed to the Orche04 Vienna instance. So if I go now there, you will see here it is somewhere. Yes, here it is, brass low. I'm showing you the Vienna, but typically you don't have to do that, because the only things you need to do is that you click on the track in Cubase, you click on this green button here, and you will see, look in Vienna now will happen, the instance has been loaded, it's there. And now if I do play something, sound comes. Yeah, that's a very strange articulation. Voila. Let's take staccato. So here I am. So you can see I can change my articulation by just sound clicking here on the tablet, whatever, and playing. Everything reacts. And then let's say, yeah, I don't need any more of that, so I will save something from my RAM. So I just click on this button here, and as you can see, it gets unloaded from Vienna. Another very cool things, let's use the same one. So let me activate it here. So as you can see from here, you have a list of faders. So there are quick controls, there are microphones, there are VST controllers. So let's suppose that I want to, so let's put it on here. Let's suppose that I'm playing and I want also my close microphones to be there. So I just interact with it and look at Vienna, the magic. They are all connected. So I just added a close microphones to it, and then also maybe the ambient one, voila, maybe just like that. And then let's say that I'm playing, and then let's go to the VST controllers and I want to play with dynamics and expression. Of course you can do this, you can do with a MIDI, but if you don't have a MIDI controller, that's a good way. So yes, so you can understand this is giving you everything you need to control your Vienna instrument. But it's not only that, because you can also control Cubase with that. So as we have seen from here, you have a series of buttons, or where you can, for example, choose. Yeah, look, I want just to I want to see only my symphonic brass. Tac, symphonic brass. I want to see just my symphonic strings from Spitfire audio. Here it is. So it's all at your fingertips. Uh, and then you can also, for example, let's say the other button. So this button here, as I said, is just to show only the library that you clicked on. But then there is another button that actually adds to it. So let's say, for example, I want woodwinds evolution, but I also want symphonic woodwind. So with the second button, it gets added, and with the third button, it gets removed. So it's like show only, add, show, and remove hide visibility. You can also do something similar with Cubase. So let me show that to you. So here below on the low part, you have actually some macros which interact with Cubase, like okay, show me everything, hide everything, and now, for example, show me everything, but please close all the folders, and here they are. Or maybe open all the folders, or maybe put everything in mute, put everything in solo, enable the recording, enable the writing. So this is really something that you can interact with. But also, if, for example, you don't know which library really you need, but you know you're gonna play with a brass section, you can just click on this button here on the folder and you say, show me everything which is under the folders of brass. Or maybe you know that, for example, you need a brass solo instruments on the high section. So maybe you click on this one and you say, show me everything which is under the brass solo high category. And here you can see those are all instruments from multiple libraries that are all linked to that selection. So it's a very nice way to also synchronize and hide and control the visibility of what you have inside Cubase. Another things which I'm gonna show to you is this second tab here, which is called the instrument. In this one, actually what you do is that you have multiple lines. Each line is an instrument or a section of instruments. And then again, exactly the same workflow. Let's suppose that you say, actually I need a piccolo trumpet, but where is my piccolo trumpet? I don't know. So you just click on this, you click on this button, and you see that actually it will appear all the piccolo trumpet that you have inside your libraries. Or maybe then you say, okay, I also want a simbasso, and then you click on this, and here are all this type of simbasso. You can see there are 4, which are in 4 different libraries, and all of them are from Spitfire audio. You will recognize from the S that is at the beginning. And then, okay, extending, yes, and I want also to have a horn here, and then voila, here you are. But then you will have really a lot more. So then you say, I don't want it anymore, and then you click on this button and the horn disappears. And again, you just have the piccolo trumpet and the simbasso. So it's really a great way to have full control on what you have. You probably have purchased a lot of libraries and you might feel already a bit lost of, yes, I don't know anymore what I have. This is what this template is done for. Um, Another things that you have here, the last one is this button here about the tracks. So what it does that it's something, some kind of, yeah, I'm honestly say I don't use it very much, but it's nice to have. For example, if you click on this last button here, it's a filter button. For example, for my instruments, I will click on the trombone, and then you can see that here on this side, so here you have the list of all the Cubase tracks where there is a trombone. And you can eventually say, okay, this one is from Orchestral Tool, Trombone 1, this is the one I want to see. And of course, if you click on it, it will appear here. You can also click on this button here, and you will see actually that it will show the content. So let me put it like that. It will show here the content of this track. So how many articulations do you have? What are the microphones? What are the faders? So it's a kind of nice way to navigate into the instruments in an offline track where you are not, for example, in Cubase and you are just watching this. So yes, it's just a nice way to actually have access to all the informations which are built inside. So as you can see here, through this button you can enable or disable the windows. So for example, if you are just interested to work with articulations, you make it like you have this layout, and maybe you can even remove the one with the fader, so you only have articulations. Then you can enable it again. So if you are in a stage where actually the only things you need is about, okay, I want to work with the instruments, you just activate this one and you have all the instruments. Therefore, it's really flexible, and it allows you to build the way you want to work. Yes, let's come back to this original layout. And now there is one thing which I want to show to you, which it's super powerful, and I must admit I use it a lot. This is the search. So how many times have you been searching for an instrument that you don't know where it is? How many times have you been looking for an articulations that you don't know even if you have or not? So let's suppose here that I'm looking for something that looks like bend. I will just type bend, and here there is everything. So you can see it tells me, okay, this is my libraries. In the library Symphony Series Brass Ensemble, I have an instrument horn where actually the Cubase Track has this name, and where there is an articulation which is called bend down, or you can go on with that. And then, for example, you say, do even I have consordino articulation somewhere? Yes, you have it. Look how many consordino tracks you have. Or do I have any multiphonic articulation somewhere? Yes, look, you have it in this track. You have it in this track. So it's just an awesome way to have full control of what you need. Let me tell you, for example, yes, this might be used also for an instrument. Euphonium, do I have an euphonium instrument? Yes, you have it. Here it is. So that's a very nice tool that you can use to search for your entire things, and this is what gives you the power actually, because you control everything, and you control everything through one single app. Let me just now put it on the big screen again. So this is the app. As I said, here on this side you have your your library. So from here you can control Cubase. You can, for example, decide to open the folder or to show all the instruments which are part of this family of like woodwinds, family high, or so on and so on. In this second tab, you have all the libraries. Again here, for example, if you know that you want to work with Berlin Woodwind Soloist 1, then you click on this button and this is what will appear. So here you have an idea of what you have. Then here you have the same, but for the instruments, exactly the same type of action. So let's suppose that you want to work with flute, then you click on flute and the flute will appear from everything that you have, or it will be added to the template depending what you need. And then you also have this one for the instruments. If you filter a specific instruments, then you will see here all the tracks, all the Cubase tracks which are there that actually are implemented for that one. And those are those three first buttons. And then you have this other one here where actually you see, first of all, on the top here you see the name of the tracks which have been selected, the one track that has been selected in Cubase. Here you can see all the articulations which are set, and from here you can control everything which is been set as quick controls, all the microphones, or even the VST controllers. And of course this is interacting directly with Vienna. And then you have this last tab here below, where you have some macros. Those are macros that apply to all the tracks, and those are macros that apply to the one that has been selected in Cubase. So for example, you want to mute it or you want to put it in solo, you can push on these buttons here. The good thing is also that you can very easily add new here. It's just a configuration file where, for example, if you already have your generic remote with a lot of those macros, it's very easy to add them and make them available and shown here. So then we say that, let's put again the original layout. What we said again is that you have this button here where you can search for something, piccolo, trumpet, whatever, piccolo, something it is, whatever, and this will search the name over all your libraries, over all your instruments, over all the articulations which are in all the instruments, and it will give you actually a resume of everything which is in there. So now I just wanted to also show another one cool feature. This is a feature that, thanks actually to Open Stage Control, you can Open Stage Control. Yes, I'm taking my phone because it's the phone which I need. From Open Stage Control is an app that actually you need you can interact with from any browser. So whatever browser you have, you can use it. So now, as you can see, I was using my tablet, but I can also use my iPhone. So in my iPhone, what can be very nice to be done is that I click, so look at this, okay. So I click on the instrument, I select something, and as you can see here, it's updated with all the articulations. And even more, there is a specific button in it that actually visualizes the articulation in a much nice way. So this one, so you can see this is another type of visualization of the articulation. So let's suppose that one. So now I want to show to you. So look at what happened inside Cubase. So if I click here, I can click tack, and you can see that the articulation will actually change. So yes, you can see I'm interacting with my app, iPhone, and you can see here on the expression map side, things are changing. So again, let's do that. Tack. I want this, and I can play. So you can imagine that in your workflow, you have your phone here with this view on the articulations, and that you will, or maybe here very close, and you just use that continuously to change the articulations through the expression map. So that's a cherry in the cake. You can do whatever you want. Open Stage Control is just a web app. It's just a, well, there is a server. You can interact with it through any using any browser, being an iPhone, being a tablet, being another screen. It doesn't matter. It's up to you to do it. Yeah. So that's all for the experience. I hope that you have found that interesting. As I said again, this is a commercial product. Of course, you can choose to buy it, or you can choose to just take an inspiration for it from this and build it yourself completely on your way. So I hope that this has been an inspiration for you. And I hope that especially this gives you the understanding of why having an orchestral template is so important, because every time you need to start creating, you should not bother about connecting and building tracks and problems. Otherwise you will be bored out and you will stop composing, because you will just have to deal with those And the second other point, which is super important with that one, is that finally you have again full control on your libraries, which is something that you might very easily lose if you have too much of them. So, okay, I think that's all. Probably in the next video I will go a bit more into details of examples of the way I compose, moving. I want also to show to you how I do work with Dorico, because Dorico is also part of my workflow. So don't hesitate to ask any question or leave any points in the comments. I hope that this was helpful, and see you in the next one.